نزل فما بيض ولا نزل فما بيض بتسمع ساوند ولا نزل فما هيب هوب ولا نزل فما سيربيكي ولا
Taula number 6, número 6, a Ràdio Fabra, amb els artistes Irina Russell, Meriam Ben Amor, Sofiane Zouggar i la comissària Abir Boukhari. Hi, hello, hola.
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 ¿Qué tal, Xavi? ¿Qué
Muy
tal
bien,
todos?
Violeta, ¿y tú? ¿Qué tal?
We are here. It's the first time that we are here in Radio Fabra with Taula, and this is a special program because it will be with a comissària. Sorry.
A curator.
A curator, sorry,
Not
Xavi.
a curator.
The curator.
The one.
Abir. And we also have the residents, the first resident of this triangle. This is the third triangle. Este és el tercer triangle de residències, més o menys. Xavi?
Així és. Sí, per nosaltres és la primera vegada que el fem aquí a Ràdio Fabra, com deies, i el fem en live també, és una cosa que no passa sempre amb les taules, no?
Exacte.
I també una altra de les coses és que avui serà en anglès, llavors...
Avui serà en anglès, però també serà en French, en français.
Pourquoi pas?
Parce que nous sommes avec la Meriam et la Meriam a dit je ne peux parler en anglais. Non. Mais elle parlait très bien l'anglais.
Bon, on fera un programme comme on aime.
Ouais.
It will be like a mix of languages, of ideas, of...
Yeah, I think the common language can be in English, but we can try to understand or to understand other languages also and use another words. And I was trying to say ¿cómo es diu apellido?
The surname.
The surname of Abir, Abir Boukhari.
Boukhari.
Did I say it well, Abir?
Yeah, totally correct.
Totally correct. Okay, Xavi, can you tell us then, pots dir-la a tota la gent que està escoltant ara Ràdio Fabra i que escoltarà després a casa seva, què són les residències, per què estem aquí? Perquè estem aquí i presentar una mica a l'Abir perquè ens parli de la seva feina. Perfect.
Of course. But we are here with very well accompanied today. We are with the 3 residents that were selected for this round of the triangle between Barcelona, Tunis and Algiers. And we have here Meriam Ben Amor, who's coming from Tunis, and Irina Russell coming from Barcelona. Russell? Russell or Russell? It's Russell.
But,
I always say Russell.
Russell, but you can say
well, as you like, you can choose. And also Sofiane Zouggar coming from Algiers, which are the 3 artists that are right now working really deep on the works that will be shown next week in 4 p.m. So it's the rush, the last week. The pressure is on them.
It's the last week, but they're doing radio.
With us, it's like, relax, come on. And here in my left hand, I have Abir Boukhari, who's the curator coming from Stockholm right now, where she's running this independent space called AllArtNow. And this is a pleasure for us because it's the second time she comes to Barcelona after their presence in Swap. And we wanted her to give this different perspective of the works of the residents. She's mentoring somehow the work they will develop, and I think her help will be really appreciated by the artists, also from us. So, hello, Abir. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Thank you very much for inviting me. This also, it will help me a lot. I mean, to be between Tunisia, Algeria, Barcelona, and maybe to build this road. Who knows? Maybe to build this road to Sweden.
Nice. Perfect. So we have prepared something strange today, Violeta. Can you explain us the methodology of the program today?
Yeah, we were talking about that, but the problem was that maybe we have to change it.
Okay, don't worry.
Can we change it?
Of course.
Now?
Right
Really?
now.
Just to put you on present time. On present time. So I will say a word. I have a lot of words here, like maybe 7.
Dictionary?
Yeah, like a Pictionary
Full of
or a
words.
dictionary. So there are 2 words, and then I will ask to Abir also and Xavi and everybody to make questions. But before it was like everyone is a player and everyone's have to answer the question. But now it will be like really open. Okay, I will put the first topic, but then anyone can put the topic. The thing is that we cannot take a lot of time, like 10 minutes in one topic and then we change it. That would be the only, the only thing that will shape the thing, okay?
Perfect.
So I will start with a word that anyone can answer. Please, everyone have to answer something. Can be a sound also. Sound and noise can be from...
It's accepted.
It's accepted
Okay.
to this Taula. Okay, so the first word is an Abir suggestion, is art. But art can be in capital letters or in the small letters. The art at everyday art, okay? So who want to start?
I would like to ask questions maybe about art.
That's nice. A question is also a good noise.
Oh, well, maybe all of us, we are in the art world in a way, and it's our work. So when we say art, now with all this trouble happen in the world, economic crisis, you have like all this trouble, the conflict, the war. So I always get this question from a lot of people, and in the same times, I would like to turn this question to the artist and to Xavier. They always ask me, with all this trouble happen in the world, is this the time of art?
Mm.
So is this the time of art?
I will be the first to answer.
Okay.
Art is work for me. So, I mean, that's what I do for living. Whatever I do because I like it, of course. But it's always time to make art for me. Crisis or not, I think, yes. I can answer in different way. Maybe it can change the way I'm thinking. So, maybe the topics that I'm working on. But is it time to make art? Yes, always. For me.
Always.
I don't know for the other.
Yeah, I feel the same. That for me, it's not something that you can. Okay, now we're gonna do art from this period to this period. But I feel that everyone does it in the time that they can, and they feel in the way that they want to do it. And yeah, especially when there's troubles, like maybe some of the kinds of arts get more view because of or because they are, I don't know how to explain it, they are more engaged with or related to this problem. But I feel that you cannot okay, now we're gonna stop making art, and then when all this pass, we're gonna start to do it again. So yeah, it's time to do it.
Ouais, en fait, moi, je pense que cette question se pose sur beaucoup de choses, non seulement l'art. Quand on essaye de changer une loi, quand on essaye de changer une façon de vie, on se dit finalement, est-ce que c'est le bon moment pour changer ça? On a d'autres problèmes. Et je pense que même en regardant l'histoire de l'art, je pense que c'est l'art qui crée l'événement ou le mouvement. C'est pas le mouvement qui crée l'art, je pense. Et il ne faut pas tomber dans la réaction, mais il faut créer l'événement ou le mouvement. L'impressionnisme, la Renaissance et tout. Quand on voit, c'est un contexte historique qui a participé à créer ce mouvement-là. Et après, on a essayé de créer l'art autrement ou d'autres mouvements. Et je pense que c'est le rôle de l'artiste, je pense. Il ne faut pas qu'il attende qu'il y a vraiment un événement subversif ou un truc pour qu'il bouge. Et aussi, il ne faut pas qu'il ne bouge pas quand il y a un événement subversif dans sa ville ou dans son nation, ou je ne sais pas. Voilà.
How do you feel, Abir, about these answers?
Have you got an answer for this question?
I think sometimes, like, when people they ask me this question, I think I have the same reaction like the artist. I can see from their face, like, why you are asking us this question? Of course, it's time for art. Art, it's for like all time. But in the same times, I start to ask this question because sometimes I like to raise also this question to make the people think again how much art is important. I came from Syria. I live in Sweden, and all time they ask me why you are working on art when all these people in trouble. Sometimes, like, my answer usually about this question, I say like, I live in the war, where I know that how much it's important to think about art and intellectuals and to have this vision about the future. Because with the art and with the intellectual people, you will have vision. Without having these people, you don't have any vision about the future. You will be in this conflict. So I thought it's important also, like, to ask this question, to think again about, like, the importance of and the role of the art.
Yeah, that remembers me that the first time and the only time that I went to Morocco with Jiser, I was really worried about someone tell me, like, there are just content artists in Morocco, like there are like 55 or a kind of number like this, a really small number, and I was like really worried about it, like, if there are just a few artists, there is a few art. But then I thought, well, what kind of art, no? Also, and what kind of presence of the artist you need to have, or professionalism to have art. And I say, no, in Morocco there are a lot of art. But maybe there is not, but this question about counting art for so many countries is like really strange for me. I was really worried about it.
People are strange.
It is. Okay.
No, and this system of counting everything is like, counting people. I think it's about necropolitics also, like counting people, counting, I don't know, meat, counting, I don't know, it's like, how many artists, how many art? It's like, no. I was also, it's time for art, and it's time for art more open in the spaces that it's supposed to don't be art. No? It's important. And you, Xavi, you were saying?
Yeah, I think that we need to point also to focus or to see other ways of creating things that are not maybe in this kind of perspective that you just mentioned, no? 55 artists, come on, in Morocco? Come on,
no,
you're joking. So maybe it's 55 artists that could be in a exhibition room in Europe, if you have this filter on your head. But in every corner you can see many artists, artisans, craft workers that can do unimaginable things that comes from a tradition to work on different materials, on storytelling. Maybe also there's many ways to conduct creation, art or culture, which maybe we need to reivindicar, no? Like I don't know the word in English.
Reinvent.
To claim, no? To ask us something that belongs to to this big word that can be art or culture that we need to describe better, maybe.
Because also, I mean, when you say like 55 artists in Morocco, well, it means that you are trying just to put few artists into spot and say that this is, they represent, they represent Morocco. We decided that they are representing Morocco. I think also in the art world now, we start to have kind of stars, and then it happen every time. Like this 55 artists, they are representing Morocco, or this 5 artists, they are representing Algeria, or whatever. So sometimes you feel that it's unfair to say that this country is just representing by these people and ignore the rest of the people.
It talks about a really low knowledge about the cultural context.
Yeah.
If you say that in Algeria only 5 artists are working in a level, in a determinate level, it means that you know almost anything about what's happening in the country. No? How do you see this?
Yeah, I think I'm joining Abir. I think there are kind of molds. If you don't fit in it, it's like you are outside or an outsider. So this mold for now, for example, I can say I don't know how much an artist they are representing in somehow. We can say in the contemporary conceptual art in Algeria, but it's a bit illogic, for me, because there are a lot of artists, but they are not in the same mold. That I can say they are kind of fashionable, like they fit in this mold. So the other artists, they are not like famous, unknown. So we can say we have only those, and we have more. So say that the elite, we can say. This is the word that we can bring it to this question. In Algeria, I can give you an example that Ministry of Culture spending so much money for what we call the les semaines culturelles, أسابيع ثقافية. It's cultural exchange between region, wilaya, and there are so much money they are spending in it, and a lot of artists. Can you imagine 48 wilaya in Algeria? Every week there are a group of artists that are going from Algiers to Tamanrasset, for example, and from Tamanrasset going to, so every week. Can you imagine the number of artists, for example? Yeah.
That's good.
But we can also give a critique about it. I mean, the quality and how they present the scenography, but there are,
But that's right.
but they are not famous as we can say. There are those few because they exhibit in Berlin or in Paris or in Tunisia or in Morocco.
Okay.
Didn't talk much.
I have a concept, but maybe for after, like a word that is shining here. But I would like that you have the words to find if you can put a concept just to go to the next topic, and maybe that if it can open and relate and be related with one question that maybe Abir or Xavi or whatever can do about your projects, about talking about your own experience also in the residence, but also your projects in general. Let's do it. Okay.
I choose the word.
Yeah, you choose the word. Can be dog. No.
Feel free to it. Okay. It can be a sentence, for example.
It can
Yeah,
be.
it can be.
Yeah.
Like a topic.
Connect. This is maybe it's not sure. I have like a lot of kind of title for my project. So one of it is connect what cannot be connected.
Connect.
What cannot be connected.
Connect what cannot be connected. Relate what cannot be related in your work.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel, Abir, about this question? How can you
Connect the inconnectable.
I think we are connecting now, like what it's not possible to connect. You are trying to build kind of connection with the world and with like different countries and being in different places and exhibit what you are thinking. So in your project, I think you are connecting what it's not possible to connect.
What it's not usual to get
yeah,
connected.
yeah.
No? It's,
Yeah, so the question can be like, what are you trying to connect or trying to put on tense for everybody?
Yeah.
For
Meriam.
everybody here. for Meriam, like
To
Meriam.
Connected to everything.
to other things.
Yeah.
or the same Sofiane, how?
Or maybe if I will ask a question, do you think this residency, also your experience now you are in the middle, so do you think this residency connects you to something that it was not possible for you to be in contact if you didn't?
Before.
En fait, dès mon arrivée à Barcelone, je me suis pas rendu compte qu'on parle que espagnol et anglais. Et c'est pas facile de communiquer, de réfléchir directement, parce que la langue, ça construit l'esprit, et réfléchir, parler et s'exprimer pour parler de ton travail. En anglais, c'était un problème très... Il y avait une difficulté là-dessus. Et de plus, c'est que je suis une artiste visuelle et je voulais en fait collaborer avec un artiste musicien pour fabriquer un dispositif. Et il avait son propre langage auditif et moi j'avais mes propres langages visuels. Et on s'est mis à faire des compositions, de ma part des compositions visuelles, et lui donner ça pour interpréter ça en musique. Et c'était vraiment difficile jusqu'à ce que je suis arrivée à jouer le rôle j'ai essayé de manipuler un peu ses mémoires dans le sens que si tu vois le rouge, est-ce que ça te rappelle quelques lumières, quelques événements, des mémoires, des événements musicaux qui peuvent t'inspirer et tout. Et cet d'échange, en fait, ce genre d'échange et de communication, c'est communication entre artistes ou bien entre deux cultures différentes, deux nationalités différentes, parce qu'il venait de Venezuela, c'est Eric. Il travaille avec Befaco. Donc... moi, je pense que la communication humaine, c'est autre que la communication qu'on voit dans l'ordinateur ou dans notre cerveau, ou la communication physique, en fait. Parce que la communication visuelle, humaine, c'est un truc, on communique avec même une sorte d'alchimie, et c'est très important, je pense. La communication humaine est très importante. Parfois, même quand on a un chien, on arrive à lui parler, même si on n'a même pas le même truc, mais il y a une communication, il y a un truc.
Just to let Irina think about it. We haven't talked about hangar. She said Befaco, so this is a place in hangar where they were doing the residence. So this is a new collaboration between Jiser and hangar.
Yeah.
So you are the first
artist to be hosted.
Really
in the caseta of hangar, working in the
hangar.
ateliers, having this possibility to work and collaborate with the other resident collectives, like
exactly,
TM,
like
TM,
Befaco, exactly.
Teme.
That works on media.
Right.
Thank you.
No,
For me, so I already had the connection with, I think it was before with you, because I made a residency with Jiser in Marseille, and it was super, super cool and super good experience. And then I spent some months in hangar, so also that this opportunity was also a connection that I already knew, but it was in the same time a new connection because it was a triangle. And also I asked for this because I was working with TM, and which at the last al final it wasn't. It's I don't know how to say it. It's not totally part of the project that I'm presenting, but it was on the first process of this project. But yeah, for me it was a super special connection because I I had really good time with the experience with you in Jiser and also in hangar, and yeah, it was good to be in this connection.
And there was an inner connection, like an inner, like interior connection in your work. Like you say, oh my God, this thing that I was thinking there, then it collapses or it gets more about collective or about another thing that happens, like as a collective process, but also personal process. I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, basically my project it's about creating this connection, and it's not mainly about the message or the what are you saying with this connection, but more to establish the communication, and in the process that I'm doing, I'm trying to bring people to in this project, and or people is getting involved in a way from different parts. So yeah, yesterday it was yesterday that we were on Jiser, and I wanted to do this action with the neighbors, and we just asked 2 of them, and they were super connected with the project that I wanted to present with the light signals. So yeah, for me, only the connection that we established with these old ladies, it was super good and super interesting.
We hope that finally you can reach the goal to make them communicate, no, between them with the lights and in the space.
Yeah, because at the beginning it was quite difficult. We tried to attempt this communication before the day, and it was quite difficult because we wasn't there present, so it was another person explaining the project, and it was super difficult, and everybody said no. So I feel that when we went there and we knocked on their doors, it was more it was a different connection, totally different.
Again, as Meriam said, this non-verbal communication is really important, and maybe it's much better, much easier to understand what's about, no? And
just for communication, for the people that is understanding us, solar communication is the project of Irina, and what she was asking was to this old lady, or this kind of old ladies, was can you participate in this action with a mirror making lighting and signals with light? That was the question, and we have to wait on the door thinking how can we explain that and she will like it. It's a lot of fear, but then this girl, this old lady, a beautiful old lady said, okay, I do the same sometimes.
She started to explain us that she always do it because in her room she doesn't get natural light. So she said, oh well, I have time. When I have time, I put some mirrors so I can get some light in some parts. Or she started explaining like all the tricks that she does to get more light on the room. And it was super nice to talk with her.
Par rapport à la communication et l'art, les deux concepts qu'on vient d'évoquer, il y a le travail d'Ismail Bahli, c'est un franco-tunisien, un artiste très connu. Il y a une vidéo qui s'appelle intitulée Foyer. Il est allé filmer à Tunis une manifestation, des passagers qui passent, et devant la caméra, l'objectif, il a mis une sorte de papier. Et les gens commençaient à venir et demander à l'artiste, c'est quoi ça, c'est quoi ce papier-là, qu'est-ce que tu es en train de filmer. Il aussi leur pose des questions, genre, qu'est-ce que tu penses de la vidéo, du film et tout. Il répondait. Et il y avait tout ça sous-titré et on voyait ça en fait. Il y a une sorte de communication aussi entre l'artiste et quelqu'un qui n'a rien à voir avec l'art. Et je pense que c'est ça l'art, le rôle de l'art aussi. C'est le temps de l'art, je pense.
And I just remembered that I went to Marseille with Violeta. It's where I met her, and we did an action with Juan David also there. That it was a nonsense manifestation on the street, and it was not really well planned. It was just okay. We're gonna make
starting in Canebière, no?
Yeah, well, we're gonna start here and we're gonna finish on the museum. And we made some
to jump.
Just jumping.
The first idea was to jump on
Out to the
the
sea, yeah.
on the
Yeah.
water and say, "This is ours."
But it was super cool because in the way from the hotel to this museum, we find a lot of people. Like some of them, they were asking, and some of them, and at the end, we found group of kids. Maybe they were 11, 12, and we didn't talk at all because I think they were speaking French. We were speaking a lot of language, but just with body communication and sound and
You were
shouting.
with these
These
scripts, no?
Carteles,
Banners.
pancartas.
Yeah.
And we communicate like during 5 minutes, dancing and shouting.
Yeah, it was so
and
special.
then
They
we
were
just
enjoying it.
separate.
The video
we
is
just
amazing, the
separate
video.
and say bye. So
So-
it was this strange and super funny communication that we did for 5 minutes, and we were all super excited. And then okay, goodbye. And we didn't need to
speak,
talk.
no.
And
Speak and to
okay,
say,
we're
yeah.
gonna do this. So it
No,
was
no,
just
no.
like
Was-
they get really into our mood that we were jumping and I don't know, doing nonsense things on the street. So they get on the same onda, and yeah, they join us.
Yeah.
It's a feeling. It's a feeling.
Yeah, I
that
think
they decide because they
It's
were
contagious also.
Yeah.
they
If
weren't
you see
afraid.
people
The
enjoying,
people were
so
like,
you want to join.
What are you
all
doing? But
about-
the other this group of kids, they didn't feel ashamed to do the same like us. So
Yeah, that was the jumping. After that, we were really tired because we were older than there. Well, no, I was older, and I was like, oh,
not much.
because I take a lot of energy
Yeah,
to
it was
talk
a
with
bit
them,
dense.
to be like present, and was a kind of fight also, like really.
Yeah, it was a
Really,
pelea,
your
like-
inner animal that I used to talk about, that you sometimes have an inner animal that you don't talk about it, and then we throw out, and then after that we say
can control
jump to
it.
the water.
No,
maybe
but
not.
What for?
No, but the thing that we didn't jump to the water, it was because we planned to do it because we saw some kids doing the days before. But the day that we wanted to jump, there was some machines doing
Collecting.
haciendo
Well.
obras.
Mhm.
So it was all like vallado, so we couldn't get in because it was full of people like saying nope.
Yeah, it will be a lot of people saying no, don't do that.
Yeah.
We are
So
working.
it was more vigilado than controlled than the other days. So we decided, okay, we want to get home safe.
That's a good connection. And Sofiane,
Sofiane.
start with a question. What is about your connection that you cannot connect but also connect?
But I was thinking about this, like you cannot connect it, but from which perspective? Because maybe some people think that you cannot, and from other ways you can't.
Maybe
So,
the
it's
question is about also his own project, the
Yeah, I
4
mean,
Minutes
like-
Man, and how
It's not
Mhm.
something
he deals
general,
with
yeah.
different materials coming from
Okay.
different moments and history. And
Yeah, I asked the question because I found it interesting to how
To communicate with you.
yeah,
About your
to have,
project,
to
yeah.
have to have their impression, their ideas about this sentence. Because when I start this project, 4 Minute Man, it's a bit complex to explain it just with a few sentences. But what I was trying to work on in this project is to relate two events in the timeline, and it's so far from these two events, like from the 1916 to 2003, and also the geographical also aspect from the US to Iraq, and with different archives, photos and documents, text. So relate those events with archive documents. It's a bit complex, and you
completely,
cannot relate it directly if you don't dig and try to understand deeper the context of those two events, the historical aspect and context of those two events, from the World War I to War of Iraq and the falling sculpture of Saddam in April 2003.
what I have a question for you, maybe in this particular aspect of your project. How the reality after your arrival here in Barcelona have changed your first idea of the project? So how the project evolved after the month and a half that you are staying here in Barcelona? Have you seen some changes, or you think something you can note that is getting?
Yeah, I think all my experience with residencies in general, I did few. This is my third residency, my fourth residency. I think is the most important in residency is the exchange between the artist and other artists or local people. I mean, for example, I was in Marseille before. I was doing also residency. It was most interesting to meet the people than the residency itself. I mean, what I was working, because I had a lot of answers. Yeah, I had a lot of answers. For example,
you find love. No. No.
I want just to give an example. It was a small story. I was in one terrace having my coffee, and there are one person near of me, a woman, and she was asking me, what are you doing in Marseille? I said, yeah, I'm here just for work, I'm an artist. And she told me, you work about what? I told her that I work in general about Algeria, the history of Algeria, and some topics outside of Algeria, but in some context. And she told me, did you work about Algerian in France? I said, for now, no. But she was so upset, like, why you didn't do that? I didn't understand in the beginning why she was so, I can say, upset, nervous. So after that, I asked her a few questions. I understand that she's a daughter of what we called Harki, so the people that they fight with French during the liberation war against the Algerian. She's the daughter, and I felt like maybe I said something that maybe I hurt her, in somehow. Maybe I said our war liberation. I work about that. Maybe I hurt her because when after that she was speaking to me, I understand a lot of things, concerning this situation, this part of my history also. Yeah. So if I wasn't in Marseille and I didn't get touch with people, I will never meet people. They give me some answers that I will never get it from maybe books or documentaries or and had the same situation before I met this woman. That other person, she told me that we were doing like kind of visit in Marseille, and she told me, you see these buildings? I say yes. She told me they were built to host people. They are coming from our ancient colony. So
Algeria.
Yeah. So the word, it's for me it was from our ancient colony. And I said, okay.
You sorry, but there's no color.
Hombre.
Hombre, see. But it's happened to me in the opposite. I was in position where maybe I hurt a person, in historical context. So the residency, in Marseille, it was more interesting with the exchange with people than the production, produce art itself.
There's a big gap or a big problem that is invisibility of realities. That we are also trying to to feel with experience, and knowing that the best way of covering these gaps that exist on young people in Spain and Europe in general is creating more exchanges, and giving possibility for young people to experience in the first person, meeting other people, as you said, and I did some years ago, and that's why these kind of projects are
That's
getting
why
real.
Xavi
We
is
are
like
here now.
in Jiser, like let's do more residents.
More.
Yeah, that's why I said the residency. It's very interesting. I mean, also yes, for the production, aspect, because you meet people, artists, professional, so they change the way how you see things. I mean, technical and conceptual. But I think the other side, the good side also from the residency is to meet people from the local, from the.
But I think Sofiane, you are so clever to mention that about the residency. I think like the most important things in the residency to be inspired in a way from the place, and the meeting with the people and how you are talking to the people and what kind of feedback you got. This is really what would help the artist sometimes to produce an artwork and to see something and then to have this motivation in a way to produce an artwork. I think like when you are speaking about this experience, I think this experience can be a reason to produce an artworks when the ladies say like why you don't speak about this, like difficult situation and difficult moments between France and Algeria. I think she puts you in important project.
Yes, I didn't say that.
Maybe in the future. I mean, it doesn't mean that you have to produce something. Yes, but sometimes what you got from the residency, it can be meeting, it can be just like 5 minutes meeting.
Maybe it's a motivation. It's
the motivation.
4 minutes meeting.
4 minutes, exactly. 4 minutes. 4 minutes meeting.
Parfois, l'endroit aussi, même comme à Barcelone, je vous ai déjà parlé du fait que j'ai trouvé des objets de quelqu'un inconnu dans la rue, et j'ai remarqué à Barcelone qu'il y a souvent on jette des trucs qu'on peut utiliser auprès de la poubelle, et c'est ce que je trouvais en fait, ce sont des cartes d'identité de quelqu'un que je connais pas. Il s'appelle David, avec tous ses souvenirs depuis son enfance et tout son cursus universitaire et tout. Et j'attends jusqu'à ce que je peux voir les cassettes, les films, pour que je puisse l'appeler. Mais avant ça, j'aimerais bien imaginer le personnage, imaginer la personne, faire un projet là-dessus, parce que c'est nouveau pour moi que je rentre à Tunis avec des souvenirs de quelqu'un d'autre, avec la mémoire de l'inconnu. En fait, ça devient ma propre mémoire, ça devient la mienne. Donc, même parfois voyager dans un pays qui est le nôtre, parfois ça te donne le mal de pays, ça te donne aussi l'extrême de la joie, l'extrême de la tristesse, tout. Mais à un moment donné, ça te donne une sorte d'inspiration ou une énergie pour avancer encore, je pense. Parce qu'à Barcelone, j'ai tout vécu, en fait. L'extrême du mal de pays, et à la fois j'aimerais bien rentrer, à la fois j'aimerais bien rester. Et connaître des gens, et c'est nouveau pour moi, mais je sais très bien que lorsque je rentre en Tunisie avec une énergie pour produire encore plus, pour donner encore plus.
Je pense que si la résidence a servi pour te bousculer, c'est déjà quelque chose de très positif.
Et tout. Oui, tout.
Bon, il y a une question un peu.
Dans ta poche.
La question
on your pocket.
On my pocket. La question c'est un peu de... Vous avez parlé un peu de... je suis très pratique. I'm really practice. I want to know how you came here, and you were talking about a lot of strategies about to talk with the state and the minister and wherever, and what happened in Tunis with the visa and these kind of things. I think maybe with Irina it will not be the same, but I just want to know how these constraints and things about these not loving states that let people just go, and because to cross the Mediterranean we have a lot of dying people also that Abir came from Syria. Also, I'm putting like here more deep, but I want the practice strategies also for young artists to say, okay, go to the minister to get the visa. You can go to Jiser also to make a residence. What kind of choices there are? How hard is it not to suffer, but these practice things that maybe are important, how can you get here from Tunis, from Algeria also? And how do you feel about this now, Abir, that you are in Scotland? How do you see these dynamics? It's a lot of questions, but
Sweden.
I'm sorry. Sorry. And you're
Maybe
not.
she will travel to Scotland after this.
I moved now to Scotland. It looks like I moved to Scotland.
I thought my mistake. So the topic is visa, but maybe you are better with the questions. I make a huge statement here.
Well, I think also I have like a long history with the visas. If it doesn't has this relation with me, but sometimes like with to have the artist. So, but I'll speak now about Sweden. So sometimes when I want to invite artists, I always have to think about the visa when it comes to this kind of like country. So usually I expect, I mean, if I want to invite Syrian artists, I have to expect immediately that no visa for him. So I think in the last 3 years being in Sweden, I was with the Syrian artists. I was trying to work with the Syrian artists in Europe. When it comes to another Syrian artist, even if they don't live in Syria, it's almost impossible. Even when it comes to like one of the time, it was supposed that it's big museum, it's state museum, and it's big exhibition. And it was supposed that the artist, he lives in Dubai and he already has like permanent residence there. And I thought like it will be okay, it's not problem. But with all this, possibilities that he got the invitation from the museum, at the end they say no. So sometimes I can understand, how much it's difficult to invite artists. For this reason, when the war starts, I say I'm not going out of Syria. I prefer to stay because I'm the only one who possible for me to travel. So I was taking the artworks from the artists and showing the artworks outside. In 2015, myself, I have problems. So it was supposed to stay in Sweden. It was not possible anymore to keep traveling. For like the migration office, it was not clear what I'm like keep traveling. So I can understand like how much is difficult now for the artist. I'm also now working with an exhibition from Algeria, for example. So I have this discussion now. It's also difficult to get this visa to invite the artist. So sometimes I'm so sorry to say that, but sometimes I'm trying not to invite the artist, but more to bring the work. Because sometimes I feel if it's not possible to have him, at least to show the work, and then I can give the feedback for him.
Nice work.
I think in the cases of Tunisia and Algeria, these two countries know the work we are doing since a long period. So the visa procedures for young artists that are selected or collaborating in some activities of Jiser get easier than it should be, that it is in reality for a young artist or someone, a young in general, that want to travel to Spain, for example.
Oui.
So
c'était très très facile pour moi en tout cas. Et ce qui est bien en fait, il faut dire aussi qu'on est dans une période transitoire et tout, mais j'ai eu le plaisir aussi de voir le consul espagnol et tout. Il était en train de m'attendre pour déposer le visa et on a parlé, on a papoté. Il est hâte de me voir aussi pour parler encore de la résidence. Mais j'ai pas eu de problème. Même le ministère de la Culture, elle a payé le billet et elle encourage les gens. C'est nouveau, mais j'aimerais bien que ça reste toujours comme ça, ce qui est bien.
Ah, très bien.
Ouais. You want to add something, Sofiane?
Yeah. For me, it was easy. Yeah, with the help of Xavier and Jiser. As an artist now in Algeria, it's talking about mobility. It's a bit complicated when we are maybe planning to exhibit or show in Europe, for example. So Yeah, but for the experience with Jiser, it was very easy. I mean, it was quite simple. Yeah.
And one question related to this, maybe it's
Okay.
not about visas, but it's
No,
about
no, no.
connection or about mobility of
Okay.
young artists. What do you think about this proximity between Tunisia or Algeria? We are pointing out this point with this element with the residency. This triangle tries to get closer Barcelona and the north of Africa, but also to link Tunis and Algiers. Did you have more links? You know what's happening in Algiers or in Tunis? You get the feedback of the echoes of cultural events, exhibitions or
Oui,
other.
pas vraiment. En fait, je ne suis jamais allée en Algérie ou en Algérie et tout. Mais avant, les Algériens venaient toujours en Tunisie pour les vacances et quelques Tunisiens aussi. Mais après le 14 janvier 2011, ça devient la communication entre l'Algérie et la Tunisie, c'est l'état d'urgence en fait. C'est les limites pour qu'il n'y ait pas des terroristes qui passent en Algérie, parce qu'on avait un problème aussi de terrorisme à un certain moment et tout. Et donc c'est plutôt une liaison politique, un écho de liaison entre les deux régimes politiques qu'entre Algériens et Tunisiens. Mais moi, je suis jamais allée en Algérie, mais j'écoute de la musique algérienne et tout. Mais ça me fera plaisir en fait d'y aller un jour. Ouais, pourquoi pas. Mais je vois Sofiane et Walid. J'ai rencontré Walid et Sofiane et je découvre la personnalité algérienne, ce qui est bien aussi, la culture algérienne. On a partagé de la musique et tout.
More to come.
Oui.
So, ça
Ouais,
vient de
bien
commencer,
sûr.
mais
Bien sûr.
ça va venir.
Ouais.
I think it's more for me because I already visit a lot of times Tunisia, not for cultural events, not for exhibitions. I showed one video 2 months ago with the group exhibition there. But what I want to say about the Maghreb and in general, I can say we don't have this horizontal, connection. We have more like vertical. So all the artists and the structural platforms they are show it directly to the north. So for example, I show only 2 times outside of Algeria. I mean in the south, and it was in Dakar 2 times. But before or other countries, never. I never. Yeah, I mean, curators they are not really connected. Artists, it was in Dakar in 2012, and it was like really discovering. Meeting people, from Africa. So it's always, they are for the north. And for me, I dream with this view, this image of a big exhibition with Cuban artists and I don't know, Algerian, Tunisian, South African, from Nigeria, moving around, from South America to Africa to, maybe Asia, because we have only this connection to the north, and we don't have this horizontal connection. I meet Moroccan and Tunisian artists in Europe most of the time.
Yeah. That happens. So, well, let's see. There is a last and short word, which is exhibition.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
This is the band
It's painful.
the band topic.
So I would like that you invite on your way to the exhibition, the final exhibition, not the final, just an exhibition about your process here, but also your work. And it will be Xavi. I don't remember.
Well, the exhibition will be next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
23rd January, starting at 7:30, but we will be there also earlier.
Earlier.
You will find us if you want to share
join.
a good moment with us. We will have the exhibition with the works of Meriam, Irina, Sofiane, and also we will have the participation of Juan Manuel Castrillo that will offer us a session, a DJ set live with some Arab influences, and that will make the exhibition, also the opening, more fun, let's say. So
if you wanna invite it, I don't know, Meriam, Irina, to the people that are listening now, Abir also, for the exhibition, you can do it.
Yeah,
I can make
invite Mark from a friend of
my
Irina.
flatmates.
Yeah, I met him some weeks ago. So you are welcome. It's official invitation. So there are
this is the VIP.
But the two of them, because I live with two Marks,
Yeah, two
and
Marks,
one
yeah.
of them, they left. He gave us some of his music. So and the other Mark is the one that he met. So yeah, I hope they come. Marks.
Mark.
Juan Carla.
So with this introduction, I can put the Mark song with what is the name of the group?
No, he sings
He's
along.
just Mark.
Yeah, Mark Badia. He's a
Mark
great painter.
Badia. Before we have listened Debu, that was a suggestions of Debu. It was a suggestion of Meriam. That was on the beginning. Just for the listeners and also for the musicians, thank you very much. And Xavi?
I would like just to say thanks to Christian also, who's there, on the technical stuff. Thanks to Ràdio Fabra, to all the ràdios comunitàries de Barcelona. No? La xarxa de
ràdios comunitàries de Barcelona.
Also to Hangar, that make this residency also possible and really easy also for us to bring it to reality. All the team, Lluís, Marcia,
Miguel,
Sergi, Miguel, Luciana,
even the artists.
Yep, and all the artists, obviously. And say hello to the family of Jiser also, that we hope they will come to the exhibition on next Wednesday.
Thanks for Violeta also.
Thank you. Yeah, I haven't presented myself, but anyways, I'm Violeta.
We already know you behind the mic.
You already know that I'm pregnant.
Really? No. You want to tell us something? La primicia mundial.
You don't see my belly?
Muévelo.
This is big enough. I cannot do anything. It's a problem to put the music. And also Abir. Thank you very much, Abir.
Thank you very much
Thank you
for
for your
inviting
questions. Okay, let's see you in another time, in another space.
Yeah.
And let's put some Mark's music.
1, 2, 3, see the beat to the floor. 1, 2, 3, see the beat to the floor. Toma 2, 1, 2, 3, see the beat to the floor. Digo 1, 2, 3, see the beat to the floor. Digo 1, 2, 3, ladies and gentlemen, sí, háganse fuertes porque la Inquisición del euro no perdona. Como las brujas al agua tiran nuestras vidas pa' ver si flotan. Y te digo que caen como hamburguesas de €1 del McDonald's. Sin Coca-Cola y más jodidos, con taxi en agosto, el mediodía en el centro de Barcelona. Todos comiendo del roscón a ver si toca, pero sé que tú hueles el pastel, tío. Como Logan, date a la fuga, sabes que son solo billetes con caras rotas, algo vulgar y manchado de deshonra, pero cuando están en tu cuenta esa cara vulgar sonríe y ya es otra cosa. Vayan pasando por el aro, dilucidando entre la herencia cultural de la construcción de su moral y lo que tienen ahí colgado. Yo solo quiero tu amor a quemarropa, vibrar contigo en varias ondas, planear estos paisajes, tocar vocales, cambiar la cerradura del pasado y tirar la llave.
Estàs escoltant Ràdio Fabra,